Hi, this is Dorothy with Scrapbooking, and I am going to make a card with this wonderful stamp and thin cut set called Joyful Sunflowers. And that is the truth, right? And this happens to be my favorite kind of fence, the split rail fence. I have a lot of good memories from childhood with on split rail fences and some splinters, but that's okay. So I have the all these wonderful thin cuts, and I went ahead and, as usual, I made multiple pieces at the same time. So, I will use these sunflowers and certainly the split rail fence over and over again on different projects. And so it's just easy to go ahead and cut a bunch at the same time. Now, this is a border thin cut that we had a while ago, and it made this fringe, which can also be used for grass. So I kind of decided that I would use this for grass. And this is my cloud template that I made. And I took a piece of our stencil, excuse me, paper and one of our shapes from our die cuts of clouds and just kind of traced around all around and so I could get all different kinds of shapes. And I'm using my little brush here, my dollar brush, and I'm just taking some of the Carolina blue, which is kind of a sky blue, really perfect color for the sky. And I'm starting at the bottom, because if you start at the top, then you're kind of covering over what you just did. So you start at the bottom and build your clouds from the bottom up. At least that's what's worked for me. So, and you want to kind of change your position of your clouds around so it doesn't look like you've got the same cloud all over. And you just need to put kind of a light coating on there. Whoops, that didn't show up very much. Maybe not that light. So, but it doesn't have to be super dark either. Unknown caller. Sorry about that. Phone rang. Didn't know the number, so I hung up. Okay, so I'm just kind of moving my template around and just kind of lightly going over the lumps and bumps of my clouds here. So see how it stacks the clouds, and it just kind of makes a kind of a real billowy looking summer sky. This is especially in southeast Texas. They get these huge billowing clouds every afternoon. So there we've got a stack of clouds. I love that technique, I really do. So here I am going to go ahead, and I made it in different colors of green because grass isn't one solid color. So it's shades of color, so that's why I kind of did various shades. So I'm gonna just go ahead and I'm speeding up the film to make this go a little bit quicker. So I'm just kind of moving the fringe around so that it doesn't look like it's, just all in one place. Have to look a little natural. So I just decided it would be fun to use the fringe border as grass. You could have actually, if you wanted to, you could have totally inked the bottom part in greens and browns to make a ground for the fence to sit on. So there's my grass, and I just kind of liked the whole fringe thing, and I'm taking it up. I think I want them to be a little bit closer together. And so I'm going to cut off the edges of the, whoops, didn't want to stick. Well, we'll catch you coming and going then. Okay, so I'm just taking the edges off, and I'll need to use the espresso ink and stamp the fence posts so that they look a little bit more natural. See all those pieces you get? And you get 3 different kinds of, you have the typical ready to harvest sunflower seeds, sunflower head that's just heavy with the seeds and bent over. So there's one of those, and one standing straight up, and a couple of them standing up, you know, pointing and, you know, not looking exactly the same. So here's the fence post, and I'm using espresso for that. So just a little bit darker than the cardstock that I used. Whoops. And who knew that there was an up and down to the fence post? There definitely is. So there we go. It's cute. I love that. And I'm going to go ahead and use my chamois and clean that. The brown is really easy to clean off. Not so much with the intense black or reds. They're hard to clean off too. So I'm going to go ahead and use the intense black for the sunflower, because it is going to get colored with various things. It's going to get colored with markers and brushes and my shimmer brushes. So it's gonna be watercolored upon, and so you want to use the intense black so you can do that so it doesn't smear. Now this is really a nice little place to put your sentiment. So it was kind of hard to tell, but it has kind of a denim look to it actually. And so if you do it kind of lightly, you know, it'll look. The second generation is a little bit too light, and I didn't want the fully dark one. So it's very, I like this. Don't remember us having a textured sentiment shape before. We may have, and I just didn't think about it. But so I purposely wanted it to look kind of like denim would look, you know, kind of spotty, and you know, you don't want it to have that solid brand new denim look. And then the sentiment will be in I'm trying it out in the Carolina blue, but that's not, just doesn't show up as much. So I'm going to use the, really, I'm going with the blue? I forgot. See, I'm going with the intense black. I get confused. So it says, sending sunshine your way. That's sweet, right? So there we go. There's my little sentiment for the front of the card. And it's really, there are little tufts of grass. So if you watercolored and used the brush to make a soft brown and grassy, so browns and greens on the bottom there, then you could stamp the tufts of grass in a dark green, like an evergreen or a New England ivy. You could totally do that, and it would be a really cute. In fact, I'll probably play with that with another card because I really like those tufts of grass. So I'm pulling out markers, many markers, which ones to use. I want yellows and some browns. Of course, I need green for the stems. So there's a couple of yellows. So, and there's, you know, I mean, the sunflowers, they're almost like, they're like a gold yellow. So I'm going to add a touch of, you know, an orange color in it to kind of darken the yellow up. And so I'm using multi levels of colors that are on the tri-blend brushes, which is so good, the tri-blends for, getting shading and getting depth in your coloring. Some people are better at it than I am, but you can get good at it by just kind of blending from dark to light, and then you add a lot of depth to your coloring. So I'm kind of going with the orange around the head of the flower, and then I'm going to pull in the yellows and just kind of pull the orange out into the surrounding flower. And this is kind of a darkish yellow, kind of an in-between color. So I'm really using quite a bit of different colors to add some, I don't know, some depth to the sunflower. So that's kind of fun to do. I mean, it's kind of fun to, see how you can blend the different colors to add just some depth to what you're working on. So it's fun. It takes coloring. The tri-blend markers allow you to take coloring to a new level where, instead of just a flat color, you're able to, go a little bit more natural. And then I'm adding this kind of brownish color to the center flowers where all this wonderful sunflower seeds are. And this is one of our brand new shimmer brushes. It's called Toffee. And so I am using that to spread the color around on the inside of the head of the flower. And then also there's a brand new, I'm taking the ring off so you can see it's a brand new shimmer brush. This one's called Lemonade. And look at the depth of that yellow. And so I'm adding some of that to the flower also. And look at how much yellow it brings in. God, it's just really, really fun to mix your colors that way. So I've got to work on the rest of the stem. And I'm using the dark part of the green marker. And so you can see that there's shading and it's the sunflower stems are really dark. And so I'm adding a touch of brown to it. So there's my sunflower. I'm going to put my fence in place. And kind of tuck it behind the grass. And I kind of have the flower coming around the fence post because, you never know what sunflowers are going to do. They're going to come up and go where they want to go. And so they're not going to be perfectly aligned with everything. And that's cool. So it's kind of getting tucked hither and yon. And of course the head's going to be raised up with the foam dots. My foam dots. Add some dimension. So we've got some dimension going on with this card with the grass and the flower and the background of the clouds. And then I'm popping up the sentiment with some bigger foam dots. So this is kind of a fun card to make. I'm going to kind of tuck it there. So that's kind of fun, and it's perfect timing because I think that the sunflowers are getting ready to be in full-blown mode towards August, if I'm not mistaken. And so I'm going to add a little sunflower to the bottom of my, or the back of my card. And I'm just going to do it in espresso. And you could color it. I could color it real easily, but I don't think it did. I'm just kind of leaving it. And I'll add, because there's other sentiments on here, I'm going to go ahead and add another one to the center of the inside of the card. Of course, in intense black. And it says, "You are my sunshine." I might have to send my son that. He just got a test today to see if he's got COVID. He had a fever and headache and coughing and the whole 9 yards. And I used to sing him the "You Are My Sunshine" to get him to go to sleep, which he never did. So there we go. There's my card. There's all my stuff. Putting away my pieces to my stamp set so I don't lose them. Whoops, didn't use that one. And those are my two shimmer brushes, the Toffee and the Subscribe. So if you like my videos, please subscribe to my channel. Love to have you. And, if you have any suggestions or anything you want to see, put it in the comment and let me know. And in my comments will be how you can get any of these items for the time being. I didn't make my envelope. I usually stamp it, so I'm going to go ahead and put a quick stamp on it. Down in the corner. There we go. So there we have it, my cloud template and everything else. So hope you liked it. Like I said, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'd love to hear from you. And here's a close-up. Now I have a little blob up there. I could put a little bird where that little black spot is. Just a little thing with my jotting pen. Thanks for watching. Bye now.